of creating great pitches, and we're convinced of the need to keep pitching even if we get a few rejections. So how do we do this right?
You want to know how to write a killer query?
I do, and I'm pretty sure others in the room do as well.
Well, all right then. I'm going to speed through some lists, so if you learn best by taking notes, feel free. But remember, we record and archive every minute of these training sessions, including the Q&A portions. So within a couple of business days, you'll have access to this teaching 24/7 on the Guild site. All right, to write the best query, here are 6 things you'll want to do in your one-page, single-spaced letter. First, you want to address it to someone specifically, not sir or madam, not dear editor, and definitely not to whom it may concern. These harried, overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated people have names. Do enough homework to find out who they are, and whatever you do, spell their name correctly. Now here's a little inside hint. When you're looking for editors' names in a market guide, remember that most people tend to write to the top person. Try selecting someone farther down the line, an associate or an assistant editor, who probably gets less mail. Who knows, it might make them feel special to have something addressed to them and give them a reason to slightly favor your pitch. You never know. Second, you want to represent your idea simply, with your theme distilled to one clear sentence. Now, of course, your letter is a whole page, but that one sentence is going to carry most of the heavy load. Third, you want to write with style, showing your skill and your voice. You grab an agent or an acquisitions editor the same way you would any reader. Just envision them as your first and most important reader. They're the ones who can gain you more readers. Fourth, you want to stress reader benefits, emphasizing specifically what they'll take away from your book. Fifth, you'll want to introduce yourself briefly with a summary of either your education or another reason you're qualified to write on the subject. Now, the more you've done, the less you need to say about it. For instance, if you're an astrophysicist, you don't have to list everywhere you've worked or published. You can refer an editor or agent to web pages if they want proof or detail. Better to just say, I've been a professor of astrophysics for more than 2 decades, the last 4 years at Notre Dame. Now, most of us naturally are writing on a more pedestrian subject and have more normal credentials, but my point is to keep things simple. 1 or 2 sentences of your qualifications at most should be enough in a one-page query. Sixth, you'll want to exhibit flexibility and professionalism. Your research has led you to propose a topic that targets a niche audience that you believe falls within the interest of this publisher. So add that your proposal, synopsis, and first 3 chapters are attached, concluding with a simple thank you for your consideration. I can't stress enough that you want to stop right there, tempted as we all are to keep going with things like, I've always wanted to be a writer, and this would be a dream come true, and I'll do whatever you say, and I'm willing to come to your office at my own expense, and my friends say I'd be great on TV, and even that I remind them of Ellen. Now, in the best case scenario, you've resisted the urge to gild the lily, and our harried, overworked, underpaid editor can't wait to read on, and immediately calls and suggests you procure an agent so you'll be fairly represented when she offers a contract. Now, I won't kid you that this is likely or common, but the fact is, as I've said, it happens. The more common and conventional route to pitching agents or publishers is emailing it to them or delivering it to them at writers' conferences. Regardless, the competition is fierce, and you can see how stellar your pitch has to be to stand out. Just avoid giving them reasons to pass, because, as I've said, those same editors and agents wake up every day hoping this will be the day they discover the next winner, the next superstar, the next bestseller. That's why they're in the business. Now, the competition is nearly as fierce on the magazine, e-zine, or newspaper article side of the fence, and flexibility is the name of the game here too. If an editor likes your idea but asks you to take a different approach, follow the instructions religiously if you want to give your article the best chance of selling. While there's no one formula for a successful query, be sure it's engaging and dynamic, and again, addresses someone specifically, without fluff, and is clear on why readers will find your article useful.
So, Jerry, does getting a yes to a query mean a sale?
Actually, no, not necessarily, but it is good news. Editors nearly always look at articles on spec, meaning on speculation, which means with no commitment to buy, but you've gotten your foot in the door, and that's a huge step because most writers don't get that far. That's the goal of the query, getting your foot in the door, gaining the editor's interest and an invitation to submit. Again, save yourself the grief and pain and wasted time and effort of writing an article before you at least have on-spec interest.